Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the 2012 movie A Bullet to the Head. It's time to recall, let's get started, turn on subtitles, and spoilers ahead. The movie starts and we see Detective Taylor Kwan standing on the road late in the night. He is approached by a man with whom he sits in a car. Before the car moves, the man in the car puts a gun on Kwan's head, and just as he is about to pull the trigger, James Bonomo shows up and shoots him dead, saving the detective's life. We then hear James saying that he never saved police officers' lives, but tonight he has broken his own rules. James is a hitman, but he does not kill kids and women. The others, he does not hesitate to kill. The story then goes into a flashback where we see James with Lewis. Both of them are in a car and they are on their way to put down a target. The target's name is Hank Greeley, who used to be a police officer once, but he was really corrupt. We then see Greeley in a hotel room where he seems to be having a lot of fun. Both Louis and James also get there. They knock on the door, and as Greeley opens, James goes on to show him his badge, pretending to be a police officer. Greeley then goes on to ask them if they have got any warrants, but they of course do not have any. He tells them to go away if they do not have the warrants, and let him have fun because he has spent a lot of money on what he has in the room right now. James then goes on to push him back into the room, and both of them enter the room right away. Greeley gets angry and starts shouting at them, but they go on to kill him right away. James tells Lewis to take all the expensive belongings of Greeley because they want to make it look like a robbery. James also sees a naked girl right there in the bathroom who is scared to death. He is about to shoot her, but when the girl shows her back, he sees a tattoo on her. Seeing that tattoo makes him stop, and he leaves the girl. This is when we see that Greeley is still alive. He manages to get up and attack Lewis from behind, but just as James hears them fighting, he goes on to shoot Greeley again, and this time, he makes sure the shots are fatal. Both of them leave, and Lewis keeps noticing that James is really worried. He tells him that he knows James is worried because he did not kill this girl. Lewis admits that he is also worried because if the girl opens her mouth, they could get in a lot of trouble. James then goes on to say that she is not going to open her mouth. He says that the girl told her name to him, and her name is Lola, and she was really scared. James says that she is not going to go to the police because she knows that she too gets in trouble because she was at the crime scene, and she is a prostitute on top of that. Both of them then make their way to a bar where we see another killing waiting for them there. His name is Keegan, and just as these two sit there, he keeps looking at them. James then goes to the bathroom, and seeing that Lewis is alone now, he goes on to stab him multiple times, and when Lewis is taking his last few breaths, he goes on to take out his own knife too, hoping if Keegan comes close now, he could stab him too, but Keegan makes his way to the bathroom, and when he is about to attack James, James sees him in the mirror and attacks him instead. He goes on to beat him up and then takes out his gun to shoot him, but Keegan manages to get out of there. James comes out to find Lewis dead, so he gets out of there right away. In the meantime, Lola is being investigated by the police because she has been found at the crime scene. She tells them that Greeley has been killed by two men. She says that she saw only one of them, which is James. Kwan is also there. He says Greeley used to be his partner once, but he was too corrupt. This is when Kwan sees another dead body, and that is of Lewis. Kwan asks the others about this man's death, and they tell him that Lewis has been killed after Greeley was killed. Kwan has a great network. He right away manages to pull up more information on Lewis and learns that these two deaths happened closely and they are connected. Kwan from then decides that he is now going to find James. He knows which bar James usually goes to. James, on the other hand, is really sad after his friend's death. He makes his way to the bar where Kwan is already waiting for him. Kwan starts talking to him as they have a drink, and James right away understands that Kwan is a cop. Kwan tells him that he is not there to catch him and that he knows his partner has been killed. Kwan says he also knows that James and his partner killed Greeley, who was a corrupt man, but he had something which many people wanted. Kwan says that these two murders are connected. He wants to get to the people who killed Greeley, and James wants to get to the people who killed his friend, so they should work together. James, however, says that he does not work with detectives. Kwan gets out of the bar, and when he is walking on the sidewalk, he senses that he is being followed. He starts running, and the people attack him. He starts fighting them off one by one. This is when he realizes that the people attacking him are actually corrupt police officers. He goes on to kill one of them, but the other manages to shoot him in the shoulder. Just as he is about to be shot dead by the attacker, James shows up and crushes the corrupt police officer with his car. He then tells Kwan to get in the car with him, and both of them decide that they are going to work together. James wants revenge, and Kwan wants to solve this case. We then see a man named Morrill who is powerful in this city. He is the one who sent Keegan to kill James and Lewis, and he is the one who sent Lewis and James to kill Greeley. After they had killed Greeley, he wanted them dead too because he did not want to leave any trail. Keegan meets with his employer Robert Morrill and Morrill's lawyer Marcus Baptiste. Baptiste reveals that Greeley tried to blackmail Morrill and provided local mobster Baby Jack with a file detailing Morrill's illegal operations. He tells Keegan that he needs to get that file from Baby. Quan, on the other hand, is with James, who takes him to a tattoo artist named Lisa. James tells Lisa to tend to Quan's wounds, and after some back and forth, she agrees. Amidst all this, Quan has taken out bullets from James' gun. Quan then asks James why he is trying with that girl. He is too old for Lisa, and this is when James tells him that Lisa is actually his daughter. In the meantime, Keegan makes his way to Baby Jack's place, where he kills all the people and Baby Jack after he retrieves the file containing criminal record of Morrill. James then tells Quan that the man who gave him the job to kill Greeley is Earl. They then pull some details on Earl and learn that this man just used his credit card a while ago. James and Quan then get to that place. James tells Quan to stay in the car as he alone will go in there. This is a massage parlor. James then goes on to ask Earl why he tried having him killed, and Earl says that he does not know what he is talking about. He tells James that a man named Baptiste told him to give this job to James, and that is all he knows. James is then attacked by Earl, whom he tries to shoot, but his gun has already been compromised by Quan. James, however, goes on to shoot Earl using his gun. James then goes out and punches Quan, telling him to stay away from his gun. They make their way to Baptiste's place, and on the way, Quan tells him that James did not kill Lola because she had the same tattoos as his own daughter, but James does not say anything. Quan and James then go to a party where Baptiste currently is, but all the people at that party are wearing a mask. These two also wear masks and enter the party. They see Baptiste, and Baptiste sees them too. He then goes to Morrill. Baptiste then makes his way to the bathroom, where James follows him and knocks him out right away. They then carry him out, put him in their car, and take him away. Morrill learns that Baptiste has been kidnapped, and he calls Keegan. He tells Keegan to track Baptiste's phone right away. James and Quan now investigate Baptiste. He is forced to give them a flash drive detailing Morrill's plans to acquire housing projects and demolish them to build office buildings, and reveals Keegan is an ex-mercenary hired to be Morrill's enforcer. He goes on to tell James that it was actually Morrill who wanted to have them killed too, because he does not like leaving any traces. Even after taking the drive from him, James goes on to shoot Baptiste, and Quan does not like it. Both of them start arguing, and this is when Keegan shows up. He starts shooting at them from outside the building with his men. All of them rain down bullets on these two. Both of them, however, manage to get out of there and jump into a lake. Keegan now makes his way inside the building, where he finds Baptiste's dead body. James then goes on to detonate a bomb in the house, and Keegan manages to get out of there just in time while all his men are killed in the blast. James and Quan make their way to Lisa's house, where they go on to put the flash drive on her laptop and check the data. They find detailed information in there. Quan sees that all the people who have taken money from Morrill, their names are on this drive. They have even mentioned how much the amount was, and the date is also mentioned. James then takes Quan with him and gets out of there. Quan says that they should make their way to the police station from where he can work better, but James of course does not want to do this. Quan says that he can easily get the arrest warrants because he has the evidence now, but James says that he will not be able to arrest Morrill because all the people in the government have taken money from him. They are all sold out to Morrill, so Morrill will be able to turn the tables in court with ease, so there is no point arresting him. Quan, however, does not listen to him and goes on to tell him that he just wants to kill everyone, but Quan does not want to do that. This leads to an argument between these two, and James tells him to get out of the car. Quan then goes on to call the police so that he is able to get started on the case right away. On the other hand, we see Morrill, who tells his men that they are supposed to finish off Keegan when he is done with the job that has been assigned to him. Keegan, however, knows about James now, and he knows about his daughter as well. He makes his way to her shop and goes on to beat up the people out there and then kidnaps the girl. On the other hand, Quan is sitting with another detective in the car when the detective shocks him as he points his gun at Quan and demands the flash drive. This is when James shows up and shoots the other man. This is the scene from when the movie started. James then tells Quan that he already told him that all the police officers in this city have sold their souls. James then receives a call from Keegan, who tells him that he has his daughter. James tells Keegan that he is going to kill him if he dared touch his daughter. Keegan says that he is not going to touch her if James comes to him and gives him the flash drive. James then tells Quan to give him the drive and leaves. He drives to the address given to him by Keegan, where all of them are waiting for him. Morrill goes on to ask him where his partner is, and James tells them that he does not have any partner. They tell him that they are talking about Quan. James says that he is a police officer, and a police officer can never be his partner. He says that he is a hitman. He just needs money and he does the job. He tells Morrill that if he gives him the right amount, he can even kill Quan. Morrill then goes on to ask him how much money he will take for killing Quan, and James says that he needs $0.5 million to kill him, but the deal is cut at $0.25. James, however, says that he wants his daughter back, and Morrill orders Keegan to bring him his daughter after they've taken the flash drive from him. Morrill tells James that he can leave now, but Keegan does not like it as he wants to kill James. In the meantime, Quan goes on to infiltrate the building to arrest Morrill, killing several of Morrill's men along the way. Keegan becomes furious because James was allowed to leave. He asks Morrill why he let him leave, and Morrill says that he trusts James more than he trusts Keegan, which angers Keegan. He kills Morrill and his men before confronting James. They fight until James stabs Keegan in the throat, and Quan shoots him dead from afar. Quan retrieves the flash drive, and James shoots him in the shoulder to make it appear as if Quan failed to capture him. He further suggests that Quan blame him for all the gangsters that Quan had himself shot. Lisa decides to stay with Quan, waiting for the police, and James leaves. He later meets Quan at a bar, where Quan tells him that he did not mention James' involvement to the police this time, but if James continues in this business, Quan will take him down. James welcomes him to try and drives off into the night, and with that, the movie comes to an end. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.